Hi, in the last video, we saw the if-else statement. In the if-else statement, what we sort of exposed to was a very basic conditional checking, and we see if this condition is true. If the condition is true, then you execute whatever is in this braces, else you execute whatever is in this braces. How about situations where your condition is not so straightforward, but you are checking for a few conditions to be met? So in that case, you need to make use of operators to sort of jointly check multiple conditions together. And those are the logical AND or OR operations. Okay, so let's look at how we can apply that kind of a check over here. So instead of just saying pass and fail, what if you wanted to display the grades? Okay, so in that case, the marks would have to be checked within ranges, correct? So what I would now have to do is, instead of just saying 50 or less than 50, I will need to say that, for example, if I'm greater than equal to 75, and okay, or sorry, if greater than equal to 75, then I say that you get an A. Okay, next I need to say is else if. Okay, so previously we saw if else. Now there's another new thing called else if. So if the first condition is not satisfied, then I will go on to check the second condition. And in this second condition, I want to check for maybe a grade B. And I say if marks greater than equals to maybe 65. Okay, and the other condition I want to check is marks less than 75. Okay, so what is important here, you should notice is I have two conditions here: marks greater than equal to 75 in one bracket, another condition marks less than 75 in another bracket. Both of them are within a bigger encompassing bracket, and the relationship between both these conditions is a AND. That means I want both these conditions to be satisfied. Okay, I want the marks to be greater than equal to 65 and at the same time less than 75. So since I need both these conditions to be satisfied, I say AND, and the AND or logical AND operation is implemented using two ampersand signs. Okay, so please do not be confused with a single ampersand sign. That is a bitwise operator, which we will cover in a different lecture. You need to have two ampersand signs to say that this is a logical operation. Okay, and we do it this way, and then we say printf. So I'm just going to do a copy paste here. You get a B. Okay, so let's just run the code as it is now, just to see what happens. Okay, so let me save it, and I'm going to do a run. As you can see now, the DOS screen has changed a bit, based on some feedback from students. I changed it to a white background with the increased font. Okay, so let's enter your mark. So if I key in 79, it says you got an A. Great, so we know it works. Okay, so let's run it again, and this time we try to fulfill the second condition, which is greater than equal to 65 and less than 75. So when I run it, and if I key in 69, it says you get a B. Okay, now what about other marks? Okay, so currently you can see that if this condition is satisfied, you get an A. If this condition is satisfied, you get a B, and any other mark will automatically say you fail. Okay, so if I run it now and I say 60, it says you have failed, correct? Why? Because I have not put in the rest of the conditions. Okay, so let's just complete that. And I'm just going to, let's copy paste this for simplicity and ease. So I'm going to say 55 to less than 65 is you get a C. Okay, and one more time I'm going to copy paste and say that, okay, 45 to less than 55, you get a D. Okay, so we are a bit more linear now. So instead of 50, we're going to say 45 is the passing mark. So 45 and above, you get a D. Okay, 45 to 55, 55, and so on. So this is again, just to illustrate an example, okay, of how we can use if-else statements. Okay, so you have to always remember that the first condition must be satisfied. If it's not satisfied, then I check the second condition, the next condition, and so on until I reach the else statement. So if all the above conditions are not satisfied, then I by default will execute this statement here. Okay, so let's compile and run this. So now if I key in 55, you say you get a C. Great. Okay, and if I run it again and I say you get 34 marks, you are failed. Okay, so this is a way of sort of implementing if-else statements. Okay, so the important key point here is when you have multiple conditions to check, you must make sure you understand the relationship. Okay, so in this case, in this example here, what I focused on is the AND relationship. That means I want all the conditions here to be satisfied. Okay, so that is the AND operation. In another example, we're going to be looking at the OR operation. Okay, that means you can have multiple operations, multiple conditions, and as long as one of the conditions is satisfied, then we say that we go ahead with it. Okay, so that is the OR operation. In this example, we have been focusing on the AND operation. Okay, and how we can add on more else ifs and a final else. Okay, so hope this helps you with further enhancing your decision making structure. Thank you.